Hey guys, this is Matt Brunet, and welcome to Movie News Weekly, hosted by FilmBook. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at what we got in this week's news, which includes how there are more horror fans than gamers this weekend, Zootopia enters the $1 billion club, the new man in charge of the giant robots, the story of a well-known landmark, a dog show sandwiched by Marvel and DC, the magic of Sacha Baron Cohen, Ed and Lorraine Warren have a lot more paranormal investigations to do, Mel Gibson is resurrecting a 2004 film, Battlestar Galactica could be a go, and here's to John Williams. So with that said, let's get things started. Not even mighty orcs and fancy magicians can withstand the powers of evil spirits. The Conjuring 2 managed to get up to first place at the weekend box office by making about $40 million. This seems to be a really good sign for the horror movie sequel, since $40 million is also the movie's budget. The other new movies, however, didn't even stand a chance against it, as both Warcraft and Now You See Me Too end up close to each other in second and third place with about $24 million and $23 million respectively. Following from behind include last week's champ, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, going even lower, now down to fourth with almost $15 million, X-Men Apocalypse with about $10 million, Me Before You with more than $9 million, and the Angry Birds movie with almost $7 million. It truly is the little Disney movie that could. At the end of last weekend's box office run, Zootopia was the second film this year to cross $1 billion at the box office behind Captain America: Civil War, and the fourth animated feature to ever do so after Toy Story 3, Frozen, and Minions. This also makes Zootopia Disney's 11th film to cross the mark and make Walt Disney Animation Studios the first ever company to make two animated films that grossed $1 billion. As of this video, Disney has complete dominance for this year's box office, as the top three highest grossing films all belong to them, including Captain America: Civil War, Zootopia, and The Jungle Book. Those giant kaijus will have nothing against Finn. John Boyega is set to play the lead in the sequel of Pacific Rim, which will be directed by Stephen S. DeKnight. He will be playing the role of the son of Stacker Pentecost, who was played by Idris Elba in the first film. Producers and directors of the predecessor, Guillermo del Toro, stated, "I am very proud and happy to welcome John into a fantastic sandbox. The Pacific Rim universe will be reinforced with him as a leading man as it continues to be a multicultural, multi-layered world. The world saving the world was our goal, and I couldn't think of a better man to do the job." The next projects that Boyega will be featured in include The Circle, Star Wars Episode 8, and the BBC miniseries Watership Down. Here's an interesting thought. Did you ever wonder how something like the Sydney Opera House was built? Swedish and Australian producers Marion McGowan, Peter Herbert, Jan Marell, Lance Weiss, and Oleg Sonberg will be making a film called Utzon, the man behind the Opera House, which is based on the controversial period where Jorn Utzon was in charge of building the Australian landmark. Marnell stated about the film, "We have a world wonder. We have its creator, who wasn't allowed to see his dream fulfilled. We have creativity versus bureaucracy and political maneuvering ranging from friend to foe." The production has yet to commence, but they stated that they have a script already done by Peter Skavlan. In between two anticipated superhero movies will come the dog version of Miss Congeniality. Open Road Films and Riverstone Pictures has set a release date for Show Dogs for November 10th, 2017, which will be directed by Scooby-Doo and the Smurfs director Raja Gosnell. The talking dog movie will be set about how a Rottweiler police dog has to enter the Eastminster Dog Show to stop an animal trafficking ring. The movie will be released between two superhero films, with Marvel's Thor Ragnarok the week before and Justice League Part 1 the week after. The only competition Show Dogs will be facing directly will be Fox's Red Sparrow. And now for his next trick, he shall transform himself from time itself to a superhero. Sacha Baron Cohen is in early talks to possibly play the main role of the film adaptation of Mandrake the Magician for Warner Brothers. The project is still very early in development, however, with no other cast or writers sign on with the exception of Tropic Thunder writer COHEN to direct the film. Mandrake the Magician began as a syndicate newspaper comic strip by Lee Falk in 1934 about a stereotypical-looking illusionist using his powers to fight crime. Mandrake would later often be seen crossing over with another superhero, the Phantom. Why stop at 2 when there could be an entire franchise to be made about that old spooky house? During the premiere of The Conjuring 2, the cast and crew were asked about regarding if they would ever be in a third film of The Conjuring. So far, actors like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are positive to return, and the screenwriters Chad and Carrie Hayes are prepared to write a third one. However, director James Wan is a bit more cautious in this case, saying that it depends on what happens during this weekend, considering that it's up against films like Warcraft and Now You See Me Too. However, if the film does end up being a hit, Wan said there could be many more movies because the Warrens have so many stories. And considering that it made the same amount as its budget during the weekend box office, this would most likely be a yes, so expect more Conjuring films to come. Oh Jesus Christ, is coming back to the big screen! Mel Gibson and writer Randall Wallace has confirmed that they are now writing a sequel to The Passion of the Christ, which will be following the resurrection of Jesus. Wallace stated, "I've always wanted to tell this story. The Passion is the beginning, and there's a lot more story to tell. The evangelical community considers The Passion the biggest movie ever out of Hollywood, and they kept telling us that they think a sequel will be even bigger." The first film, distributed by New Market Films, has so far been deemed the highest-grossing independent film of all time, by earning a total of $612 million over a $30 million budget on its release in 2004. The greatest battle between the humans and the Cyclone race can finally have its chance to be on the big screen. Progress has finally been made in Universal to bring life to the long-awaited Battlestar Galactica movie. This has been achieved by getting executive producer and writer of Westworld, Lisa Joy, to write the script, and might have a chance to get Francis Lawrence to direct. The movie also has Scott Stuber and Dylan Clark of Bluegrass Films and Michael DeLuca as producers. Lawrence could possibly be directing this after he's done with his work on Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence. It was the night that music was truly made. Legendary composer John Williams was honored the AFI Life Achievement Award. The gala was presented by many of his collaborators talking praise of his works, including Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Drew Barrymore, Tom Hanks, Kobe Bryant, J.J. Abrams, Seth MacFarlane, and many more. The works of John Williams has been synonymous with some of the greatest scores in cinema history, with a wide range of well-known pieces of music from Jaws, E.T., Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, Superman, Jurassic Park, and many more. The gala will be broadcast in a few weeks on TNT. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to head on down to film-book.com for all the latest movie and TV news, along with their columns on the box office and their theatrical release schedule. Also, you can follow them on whatever social media you'd like. And while you're at it, you can follow me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter if you're more into stuff like animation, Disney, and my weird sense of humor. If you were watching this on YouTube, then hit that like button and come subscribe to us, and also leave a little comment on what you think on the news this week. If you were listening to this on a podcast on iTunes or any other podcast service, then don't forget to rate and review what you just heard. Tune in next time for another round of Movie News Weekly, and until next week, see you later, dudes!